It was getting late that day, and soon it would be nighttime. Tomorrow was the weekend, so once again, the students would be free to do what they want as long as they didn't leave the city for a couple of days. With this, Quinn decided to head back to his dorm and call it a night. When he arrived at the halls of the dorm, he could see Peter sitting up against their room wall, asleep. As Quinn walked past and entered the room, he took a glance at Peter, who looked to be bruised and beaten. Not only that, but he seemed to have a couple of clumps of hair missing from his head. Is he still getting bullied? I wonder who ordered him to do it. Maybe Layla will know more, Quinn thought as he entered the room. He still hadn't forgiven Peter, and truthfully he never thought he could. But still, he wanted to stop incidents like this from happening in the future. To do that, he needed to find out who was at the top, giving out the orders. When Quinn entered the room, Vorden was already inside on his bed relaxing. "Hey," Quinn said, "where have you been? I came back earlier, but no one was here." "Oh, that," Vorden replied. "Actually, something has been really bugging me about the whole Peter situation. It's obvious someone asked him to do it, right? And they had already set up a fall guy to take the blame. But when I tried to find out what happened to that person today, not a single person knew. Everyone just kept saying the punishment was dealt with by Duke, since he's a second year." "Why don't you go to the first-year students he was hanging around with before? Maybe they know something." "Yeah, I was planning to do that on the weekend, but we need to be careful. If my hunch is right, this would involve someone at least at the sergeant level." "Do you want me to come with you?" Quinn asked. "No, I think it's best if we investigate separately. Plus, if I get caught, it's harder for them to touch me, while for you, it's a different matter completely until we get level on your watch sorted." "I know," Quinn said as he snapped his fingers. "Why don't you ask Layla? Apparently when we left, they ran into those friends of Peter's." The face Vorden was currently making wasn't one of happiness, but it wasn't one of disgust either. It was as if he was trying to put on a smile, but his body was fighting against him. "Quinn, you do know me and her don't get on, right?" "Well, I know you're going to have to. We have the expedition next week. Use this as a chance to repair your friendship. I've already lost one friend. Don't make me pick and choose between you two, Vorden." Vorden then grabbed the pillow by his side and threw it at Quinn's face. "All right, man, I'll try." The two of them then laid down in their bed to get some sleep. "You're not actually going to try to become friends with her, are you?" Rayton asked. "Just kill her, and then he doesn't have to choose. We are his best friend. Done. Deal and off." "Go away and let me sleep." With Vorden investigating the situation, that meant Quinn would be free to head to the VR room tomorrow, but before he shut his eyes to go to sleep, he decided to have a look at the tutorial video he had unlocked while reaching level 10. Once again, the blond man appeared, who looked like he was in some type of dojo. "Congratulations on reaching level 10. Now, in this video, no new skills will be learnt, but instead, we will be creating our own. By now, you should have also unlocked the skill Blood Spray and learnt the skill Hammer Strike. Although Blood Spray can be used on multiple targets, to do the most damage it's best if you are actually touching your opponent. What's even better is if you combine the two skills together." The blond man then got into a fighting stance once again. He repeated all the steps of the Hammer Strike as usual, but right at the end, when the force came out, he performed the Blood Spray attack. Rather than spreading out like it usually did, it was compact and came out together in a thick line. In the video, a loud sound could be heard. "Whoops," the blond man said. "Looks like I will have to make some repairs to the dojo. This move I call Hammer Spray. Now be careful, because this attack will not only use up your stamina, but will drain you of your blood as well. Also, the Hammer Spray takes slightly longer to prepare, so it may not be optimal in all situations. But the point is, if you activate Blood Spray with a punch in your fist, it will be several times stronger." After watching and analyzing the video carefully, Quinn finally shut his eyes to get some sleep. The next day when they awoke, Quinn was greeted with his usual message. "Avoid sunlight for 8 hours, 5 EXP gained. 10 of 100 EXP. Quinn was glad that after he evolved, his EXP points seemed to have reset. He hated to think how hard it would be to level up if his EXP kept doubling up all the time. In fact, it seemed like an impossible task in the future. As the two woke up, they started getting ready. That's when Quinn noticed something as Vorden changed out of his uniform. "Hey, Vorden, don't you use a beast weapon or anything?" Quinn asked. When leaving the city just in case of an attack, people usually carried their weapons with them. Quinn was keeping his in the dimensional void for the time being. "Actually, most of the time, I prefer to use elemental abilities, which kind of just get in the way with weapons. Although you're right, I should probably pick one just in case I get an ability where it would be useful. Well, if you could, is there anything you're best at or anything you would want?" I guess I always thought daggers were cool, but it might be a while before I can make my own beast weapon. My family doesn't like to send me money because they think I should earn everything myself," Vorden said, laughing. Quinn had actually planned to create a new weapon for both Vorden and Layla. They had both helped him so much, and he wanted to return the favor. Layla had helped him learn so much about vampires, while Vorden had even come in after him to the portal world. There was also the worry that other vampires or something else might come to attack them. If that was the case, they might go after those around him, so there was no harm in making them stronger. As the two exited out of the room, they noticed that Peter was still up against the wall sitting there. "You can go in the room and sleep there while we are out. Just make sure when we come back in you're out of there," Vorden said. The two continued to walk off until they had finally split ways. Quinn headed to the VR room, while Vorden started to head outside the building. "That was nice of you," Rayton said. "We can't become worse than what we are trying to get rid of," Vorden replied. "Speaking of getting rid of people, here's your chance." Standing just outside the gate was Aaron and Layla. Both of them were no longer in the military uniform. They were dressed in their casual clothes for the weekend. Layla wore a stunning red dress, while Aaron was a bit more elegant. It was white in color with flowers on the bottom, and on top of her head she was wearing a large summer hat to block out the sun. As soon as Layla spotted Vorden, she turned her head away. Nearly every interaction with him so far while Quinn was away wasn't a good one. But then she started to hear the sound of footsteps getting closer and closer. "No, he couldn't be. Is he walking over to us?" she thought. "Come on, Vorden, you're doing this for Quinn. You can do it," he thought. Now the two of them were within grabbing distance once again. I... For the first time, Vorden was stuttering in his life, but it wasn't because he was scared. It was because of Rayton yelling all sorts of things in his head. "I need your help," he blurted out. The look on Layla's face was one she had never made before.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.